no way that I was going to get through that border, they were saying. Absolute no chance. Hello, I'm Willis. This is
Rick Anderson.
And we're from Junos Journeys, and we are currently filming this video in the apartment we are quarantined into in Latvia. So basically this was just gonna be a regular travel vlog. We started our travels in Spain as we were gonna make the 4,000 kilometer journey up to Latvia anyway. But as we were leaving Spain, everything was still fine.
I just really want these beans.
Just getting ready for the bed. Spain is warm at night, PG sun, in the middle of town. Who cares?
Coronavirus had locked down Italy, but beyond that, nothing was happening.
And there was not much news on media about it before we lost our internet connection.
No, we last checked the internet just after we crossed into France. And we were like, okay, coronavirus seems like it might be a problem, we should check the borders just in case we get ourselves into trouble. And they said, yeah, we're fine, keeping open, everything's chill, vibing. So through France, we drove all the way up into Germany, German border, completely fine, no worries. All the way up through Germany, and then as we're heading towards the last German town on the border, Görlitz, I think it was called. I don't know, I'll show a map of something. We noticed there was like loads of traffic, but it was late at night, so we weren't really bothered and we just went to sleep at the lay-by.
We didn't even know that it was to do with the border.
We had no idea what was going on. We just saw, we thought, oh, there's a town nearby, probably loads of traffic, rush hour, everyone going home, we're just gonna go to bed. Next morning we got up early because we were like, yeah, probably traffic again, so we're gonna get up early, beat the queues, and as soon as we left the lay-by, we were in a queue.
We is stopped at the Polish border. We is not moving.
Just completely stationary. Engine off. It took us 6 hours to travel the 2 kilometers to the border because of how bad traffic was.
It was extremely slow.
Of how badly they were dealing with it at the border control. And the thing is once you're in that queue, there's no way to turn around. You are now committed to crossing the Polish border.
We waited for 6 hours, and obviously people will start getting
restless
and
so we
stressed
asked
out.
some Polish guy who spoke a little bit of English, asked him what was up, and he said that coronavirus had closed all the borders, and that was that, and we were going to get there and we were going to be turned away.
As you'd expect, 6 hours, people need to pee-poo. So
people were going to the toilet just on the side of the road.
Just on the side, but beside their trucks. And I was walking back to the toilets, to the lay-by that we slept in. Just bottles cut in half with doo-doo inside of them.
We didn't check Wi-Fi for not even 2 days. We were offline for not even 2 days, and all of a sudden all the borders were closed. So there was going to be so many people in that queue with no idea as to what was going on, so have no way of preparing. We finally made it to the Polish border.
Yep.
But we get there, and basically what the hold up for the queue was basically you get there, they check your temperature with a little thermometer ray gun thing.
It's like a gun with a laser, and they point it towards your forehead and they say, yep, you good.
And then they ask you to fill out this sheet with your full name, your identity number that's on your passport, or whatever ID you're using to cross the border, your address,
number plate,
your email, number plate.
Where are you going? Where are you coming from?
that was basically what was holding up the queue, because obviously you're in your car, you have to suddenly scribble all that down. It takes time, and they only give it to you once you get there.
Yeah, once you reach after where they check your temperature. When really they could have made it a lot faster if they bought the documents for you to fill out in your car whilst you're waiting in the queue.
If a virus is going to spread anywhere, it's going to be where loads of people are congregated and have no choice. But once we got into Poland, it was fine again. No worries, no stress, nothing to let us know that we should be more concerned.
Yeah, I think we drove for about half an hour and then found some internet. That's where we tried to find as much information as possible.
Contact
closing
people, and we found out that the borders were just closing. That was it. That night, borders closed. But then the next morning, when we woke up, checked the Wi-Fi again, we got another update saying, no, we're closing the borders
tomorrow.
Like the information was terrible.
We weren't even past Warsaw, and we had to make it into Latvia.
There would have been so many people who wouldn't have even thought to check the internet after going past that border, or in the next morning, they'd have checked it, gone like, okay, the rest is still open, it's fine.
Especially these constant updates where they're narrowing the deadline.
Yeah, we had no way of knowing. Like, there are so many people that are probably stuck at borders or in countries that they don't know or anything, because the information was given out so suddenly, and people are just expected to have an internet connection or be watching the news or whatever, which not everyone can. We drive through Poland, no problem, but at that point the next day we realised that no, we have to get to Latvia. So we pushed through Poland and up to Lithuania.
We got to Lithuania around about lunchtime after passing through all the Polish towns
we
after
got
Warsaw.
to Warsaw about 9, and we got to the border about midday, which is quite quick. Anyway, so we get to the Lithuanian border, and they're doing checks there as well.
That's passport checks, and we were trying to say that we're going to Latvia.
But I gave them my luckily, Ricky and the Naked Traveller, they both have Latvian passports. They're Latvian. I'm from Jersey, so I look a bit like the odd one out, and I hand them my passport and they don't even recognise it. We say, it's British, I'm a British citizen, it's a British passport, and they're going, no, you're not, this is not a passport, no, we don't recognise this.
Yeah, they've never seen a Jersey passport.
They just didn't recognise it as official, a document.
So I try to hand over my Jersey driver's license, saying, no, the Jersey's a real place.
Yeah, we've all been Jersey, like, please, we're coming, let us through. Then they asked why we were together. I said, Ricky's my boyfriend, Latvia is his country, we're moving back there. And then they go off and they start discussing with their superiors. I was scared. They were threatening me, saying
emotional.
I couldn't. It got emotional because they were saying I couldn't go through. There was no way that I was going to get through that border. They were saying absolute no chance. You're going to have to turn around. But I knew they were not going to let me back into Poland. They were saying I was not going to be able to get through. They said I had no reason.
Well, we were trying to be as nice as possible, and also arguing our point, saying we got into Poland yesterday.
They checked.
They checked everyone's health, just
our
like they are over there, because we are at the border. There's Polish people trying to let one truck in at a time.
And they were just kind of saying, no, it's a quarantine. You can't go. Those two can, but I can't.
Yeah, and we're not exactly going to leave you behind, so we were stuck in a conundrum.
Just arguing with this random Lithuanian man in his hazmat suit. Yeah, so they just said, are you in good health? Just repeated that question. I just was, yeah, we're all in good health. And then they just let us through.
After we went set off from the Lithuanian border, we were passing trucks. At first, we didn't believe. Like, it's gonna stop any time now. We're driving for about 5 minutes. It's gonna stop now. But no, it went on for about 15 minutes. We were driving slowly past 35 kilometers of trucks and cars trying to get into Poland.
And if it took us 6 hours to drive 2 kilometers, I have no idea how those people at the back of that queue, they're probably still in there. It was just absolute madness. It was so uncontrolled, so messy, so unreliable, so unorganised.
All I could think about was...
There was no information, no handling of the situation.
You'd think, how are these people going to the toilet? How are they getting food and water? There must be someone delivering these things to them, because they can't walk to the shop. There's no shops there. There's no shops around that border.
No lay-bys, nothing.
It's empty fields.
And people's farmhouses.
Yeah.
so much wrong with how this is being handled, no information, and that's mostly what's causing this panic, because no one actually knows what's going on, because everything is fine and then all of a sudden we're in a lockdown. And finally we speed through Lithuania, because what choice do we
We're
have?
making very short breaks to walk the dogs, 10-15 minutes if anything.
We get to the Latvian border about 8 p.m. maybe. They pulled us over, just asked some basic questions. We said we're going home, and they said okay, and just let us through. We wake up the next morning, we're in Latvia, we think okay, everything's fine, everything is chill, we're here, no worries, we can just do our business. And we took our time just driving all the way up to where we needed to be. And it wasn't until we were in the local village that the police pulled us over.
They pulled us over straight up saying, "What are you doing driving a Spanish car here?" Naked Traveller answered, "We're Latvian, we came from Spain, hence the Spanish car." Said, "Wow, that's a long way." And said, "Don't you know you should be under quarantine?"
And we were like, what do you mean? We didn't know anything about this. And then they said, no, you have to go.
You must go home right now. You must stay inside for at least 2 weeks. People must give you...
People must do your business for you. You cannot leave.
Provide you with your food and water at your door, and then walk away.
The government website says you are advised to quarantine yourself for 14 days upon arriving in the country as a precautionary measure, but not that you have to stay inside.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about... It says that it's optional.
But the local authorities insisted that we stay inside.
We haven't contacted them yet, have we?
No, it's only the next morning. We're not.
Yeah, it's only the next morning. We're probably going to contact them today and ask what the situation is, because staying inside for 2 weeks without being able to get any food in, because we can't leave our house.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this is just our experience with it. We're not professionals or experts. This is just how we saw it being handled, how we experienced it crossing these borders.
Everyone has different experiences in their country, because every country does it differently. America has been doing it differently.
Everyone's
Italy's
doing it
been
different.
Yeah.
Just be calm, don't panic. Panic is what's caused most of these problems.
Panic is why the shops are out of food.
Panic is why those borders are so flooded. My best advice from seeing what's happened is stay calm, vibe. Just vibe, bros, just vibe. Comment your experiences with coronavirus. I would like to know what everyone else is doing, because obviously we don't have much contact with the outside world. So please let us know what you're doing in the light of coronavirus. How are you staying entertained if you're under quarantine as well? Because it's day 2 and we're already bored. Subscribe, bye.
Bye.